I've been a member of the fire company for a little over 40 years, in that I was one of the founders in 1972.
Now, I've got a pretty erratic history with the company. I was here when the company was originally started and have left on several occasions, once to move to Connecticut for about 4 years, and on another instance to Houston for a couple of years. My active service with the company is probably in the vicinity of 25 years.
I've held positions of vice president and assistant chief and fire chief, and I'm presently the safety officer.
Well, actually, I have kind of a reverse career in the fire service, okay? I started out initially here as the first fire chief, and about a little less than 2 years after we started, I moved to Connecticut. And after I came back from Connecticut, I ran active crew again until 1985, when I moved to Houston for a couple of years. I'm sorry, 1983 when I moved to Houston. And I've been active intermittently, except for probably the last 7 or 8 years since then. Well, we didn't have any trucks when we started. We were the first new fire company to be chartered in Chester County in 17 years, if memory serves me correctly.
Well, we had no trucks at that time. We organized without any equipment. It was to come.
Our initial active contingent was probably about 12 people when we started.
Well, it became in existence through the imagination of our first chief, John Harris, and he conceived the idea as we were breaking up a Sea Scout organization that was based in St. Andrew's Church, and it was his idea to form a fire company.
Well, the first piece of apparatus that was given to us was early 1950s Ford pumper that was a gift from the Thorndale Fire Company. And the day that we had the actual transfer of ownership and actually got some training on the vehicle from the folks at Thorndale, we were over at the Ludwigs Corner Horse Show Association property trying to pump out of their pond, and the truck wouldn't pump water, and we were never successful in getting the truck to pump water after that.
Well, it was significantly more rural than it is today. There were no housing developments. There were no fire hydrants. Basically it was the same, except the population was considerably lower than what it is now. I mean, Westminster Township right now is approaching 4,700 people, and there were probably like 1,500 people back then.
I think probably the greatest difference between the area then and the area now, I mean, clearly we have more population now. We've got housing developments which did not exist back in the early 1970s, but the biggest and I think most consistent difference between then and now is the amount of traffic that we deal with on our roads.
Well, I guess the biggest struggle was fundraising, raising money in order to operate, to find a building to reside in, and eventually build a firehouse. But in the early years, actually the first 12 years probably of this fire company, we spent most of our time trying to raise money.
The initial sets of turnout gear that we had, and you'll see some pictures of these from our early photographs, weren't current gear even for the time. It was obviously gear that was being recycled by other volunteer fire companies, and the only exception to that was we received a gift from Ridge Fire Company, okay, for $1,000. Now, gear, at that time, we budgeted $125 per person per set of gear: helmet, coat, pants, boots. Today, Marty tells me we got a pretty good number on current gear costs, and the full package, helmet, hood, gloves, coat, pants, boots, radio, air pack, is over $10,000.
Well, this was a day before pagers, but they were electronic in that we had plectrons, which was the size of a cable box that we kept in our homes. And some of us had a power cord for plugging it into the car.
I think probably the tool that has been of the most use and greatest benefit for Ludwigs Corner anyway is probably the Hearst Rescue Tool, okay? And that's primarily because of the number of automobile accidents that we respond to as a tool to assist in the safe extrication of people from banged up cars. Pretty hard to beat.
The accomplishment that I'm most proud of in my years with the fire company is working with State Representative Kurt Schroeder to get improvements done to the S-curves on Route 100, where we had multiple deaths and multiple injuries and property damage that was unbelievable. And those accidents started from the day we started the fire company. And Kurt Schroeder worked very hard for us, and I spent a lot of time with him and with other township supervisors during that period of time. And eventually the funding came through PennDOT to improve that stretch of highway, and it's been a dramatic improvement. I don't think we've had one death since the improvements were done.
Well, it's just amazing to look at the progress that has been made in this company from the original conversations and discussions about the formation of a fire company back in the early 1970s, the charter, which I think was in 1972, till today. There are so many really memorable milestones that this company has gone through as an organization, and it just really exemplifies the best things in the people that form this organization. Great place.